Hey guys, welcome to Plaid Guy's Garage. Today is an exciting day. We just received our brand new Xtool D1 laser engraver. First appearance is pretty good. Our box is a little dinged up, but everything should be good. So let's jump into it and start opening this bad boy up. Getting pretty exciting, taking our first cuts. Been waiting for a very long time to receive our first laser engraver. I will mention that this was purchased. It's not a marketing ad, so this is a real reveal of the product after purchasing. Okay, right away we can see we have our risers. That'll give us some extra height when we go to use these. They can be double stacked and slotted together for extra height. We'll get these out and off to the side. Very nice packaging so far. Comes with this user manual fully wrapped inside a nice little envelope with Xtool engraved on it. Very fancy, very nice. Here it is, the main piece. Let's see if we can take the circuit board out first so we don't break that. So we get a few of the little pieces here to help put it together, and the memory card chip that we'll need later on. And our first slot. Grab these out of our slots. It's packed well tight. And we also got in this kit the rotary, so we can do cylindrical objects. Throw that box off to the side and we'll lay it out so you guys can see it. So here's everything that comes in the box. We have the framework here, all steel framework, so it's nice and sturdy. We've got the rotary kit. This is the R1 rotary kit, so it doesn't have the ability to do odd shapes, but at least we'll be able to start immediately on cylindrical objects, like tumblers. So yeah, let's start unpacking and get this thing put together. Got our power cord with lots of extension, which is good. Plugged in from a while away. Here is the laser itself. That is a hefty laser module. So we've got our safety glasses, green tint safety glasses. Always good. Want to make sure we're being safe when we're in the lab. These pieces are in here quite tight, so getting them out takes a little coaxing. Got our left rail. And a little pop, there we go. Our X rail. Get the foam off to the side for now. This is just one of these side rails. The belt's a little loose on that, but I'll tension that up. These are in here quite tight. There we go. And there is a rod we don't want to miss in this piece. That will go here. And the final piece, which is the control arm. What's unique with this laser, it's actually fully Wi-Fi enabled, so I can set this up out here in the shop and then go back inside to the office, do up all my designs, and just send it to the machine and it will start printing immediately. Okay, and there's our pieces. We can take a quick look here. We have our connector, a little wiring kit for the rotary piece. This has got some serious weight to it. It's not cheaply made. You can definitely feel the quality and just the weight. They're using real steel. They're not using some metal alloys that'll bend or break or twist over a few years. These will last quite a while. So you can see right away there's 3 settings, so you can do 3 different sizes. It's actually got a adjustable slot all the way through, so you can slot it to any size along here, so that you can adjust for the right cylindrical shape. And that is it. Let's get to assembly. Pop everything out. Plug the ribbon wire in. And this one will be done immediately. There we go. Now there's 2 screws on here, and if I am correct, there are 4. Okay. So we do need to cut some zip ties that have been assembled to these. Look at our motors. Got our scissors right here. We'll just remove the zip ties from our sliders. This one looks like it's already good. Yeah, just the one. Okay. Get our wires uncoiled and ready to go. And our power bar. There's not too much to put together here. This is actually quite simple. There's only like 5 or 6 parts that we really have to focus on. And the manual is quite clear with the images. They do have a video tutorial online, which if we get stuck, we can definitely reference that. But from how minimal work there seems to be to actually assemble this, I'm wondering if there's going to be some calibration steps to make sure that everything, once it assembles, is actually working and all aligned correctly. Okay. Final bag contains our hardware, some sample pieces. So you've got some sample acrylic, some sample plywood, a piece of sample leather, and a sample piece of stainless steel, dog tag. Spacer, and some zip ties for cable management. Okay, that is everything fully unboxed and unpacked. After removing the zip ties, we are going to now quickly assemble the 2 pieces. So, one of these, this is the bottom side. It's interesting that they have the antenna underneath. Definitely keeps it protected and out of the way. So the Xtool is facing you guys. This top bar will be on my end. And these slide rails control motors will be going so these are your end plates. And for the end plates, we are going to want to just connect the side pieces together. So I'm going to move this out of the way for now. Move some of our wiring. We will need very small Allen keys that are provided. There we go. And now we just need to attach the Xtool piece is assuming the front. So I want this to be the front piece. This will be our back piece. So I'm going to want this motor to be up near the front, I imagine. Yep. Xtool attaches, or the motor attaches right into here. There's a line just like that. There's a screw hole in the top with, I assume these, nope, that's too small. Well, now we did it. Largest size. Slide it back. Just slide it all together quickly. This piece does have cutouts on it, so it goes by the control board so that you can still plug in your cabling to your computer with this in place. There we go. My belts are falling off a little bit, but that should be fine once we are able to tighten that up. Okay, now just a little bit further in, square it up. It's a little tight, but just get some of these other ones lined up first. See if we can. Already just looking at it, it seems like it's going to have a decent size cutting area if we can make use of this full area. Okay. The only concern that I have is I have 2 extra screws. Hopefully they're used somewhere else along the line. Let's quickly just refer back to our instructions. So we have the outside frame done. We have the on and off switch right here. Got a power cable. Everything looks good. We put in the 3 screws there, one at the top, one at the bottom. Three. So every corner has 4 screws. And then we move on to the gantry, which is now this is going to connect onto these. I believe this just slides into here. One of these ends will slide into the other one. This belt is nice and tight. I'm unsure. Maybe this one needs to be pulled back to the timing belt. So that's fine. So if I can grab the belt, there we go. I need to pull this back. There is this piece that's not the correct piece. Before we do anything else, I gotta turn this back around, and 2 of our longer screws will go into the back of these plates and catch. Very straight. There we go. This is our timing belt. So you want to put this in, but not too tight. You don't actually want to torque it. Just want to make sure that once we set it, we can forget it. This one is way off compared to the other. So, for now, I'll have to check that. Flip it around again. And we have our rod with our cylindrical head already on it. We add this piece. This should be tightened down to the rod accordingly. Does the coupler need to actually attach? Yeah, the coupler, so I need to actually adhere this. This one goes around the belt. Make sure our belt is well attached first. And then we're keeping some tension on the belt. We're just going to slide a hole. We need to align that into. There we go. And we're well in the hole. And now this guy over here will rotate. And I need to open it up currently. So that I can align it with the drive shaft. There we go. Now we gotta lock them on. I am making sure these ones are fairly tight. I don't want these to come loose because these are going to affect the timing of that drive belt on that side. So there we go. So now we can see the two sliders are able to move at the same rate. Now the only issue I have is these are nowhere near the correct location. So how are we going to realign these? I think the best thing I can do is actually loosen off one of these. Which will allow my rod to spin freely. And then I can pull it all the way back, trying to align the two correctly. So now I should be able to spin this freely up, all the way back. So both of these are all the way back. They're both fully set. So there, as one goes, the other goes. Perfect. I believe there should be a screw for, no, there is no screw for that one, so we are locked in. Now we move on to our wiring. So we have our three colors: red, yellow, and white. Pretty straightforward. Red to red, yellow to yellow, white to white. So at first we're going to start with just the yellow wire. And this is going to connect from the outside motor module here, which is white to white. There we go. This is just going to run along the inside of the gantry over to a yellow cap. Now I can't see which one's yellow, so we're just going to tip this straight up until we can find out. Yellow is way at the back. These are not easy to get to. And so it is easiest to probably flip it completely upside down for now. We'll try to wire this in, and we'll come back and do cable management afterwards. Put a small bend in it just to make this life a little bit easier. Once we get it to start going into the housing, there we go. Push down on the sides and it's locked. Next, there's supposed to be another zip tie. I believe we've already cut all the zip ties off though, so yes, we're good to go. No more zip ties. We are actually able to take additional zip ties now for that wire if we choose to, which we might as well go ahead. There should be 3 of them. There's 3 holes pre-drilled where you can zip tie the wire through here and bring it down tight. And then we can take the scissors and cut off our excess. Everything is nice and tidy. There we are. Next, we move on to the other 2 wires. These 2 are for our cross module. There's only a single plug that will go to the motor on top, but 2. First, the red connection, which is again deep in the back, hard to kind of reach to. You're going to want to bend those wires over a little bit just so it hangs down in the right direction. Get it to slot and then gently push down on the edges until you hear it click. And then finally the white module, again also in the back. We're going to press down until we hear that one go click. Once we get it to slot, very slight click, but it's in place and it's good to go. Okay, we have our antenna wire. We got everything else connected. We are good to go. Okay, so we just leave that wire there. We're going to turn it back over and add in the gantry. So we're almost complete. We're on the final stages here. Very quick assembly. Like I said, there's nothing to it. This, you're going to see the 2 wheels here, and this is going to fall down into the motor side. Comes to where the wires are. So the wires are on this side. And it will slide right down. There's that. This one, I guess in theory, should continue to go all the way in, but it seems like it's the wrong side screw. It's the wrong side screw for sure. We do have a smaller set. It's too small. It's definitely not the right size at all. So now I don't know, guys. we're gonna have to see where a different size of screw is meant to be used. It does seem to think that 4 of these screws would have been the ones to do it, but they don't seem to be, they go too far. For where the motor module itself is mounted. Unless it's just the one, but it's just the one seems to be that it was wrong. So that end I might have to replace them then with the longer screws. It does call for these longer ones. It's just this motor mount seems to have maybe one of these guys down below isn't quite tight enough. It's pretty tight. Might just be an alignment issue with me trying to get this to there, to go through without hitting the top of the other screw that's already in there. And it's still taking a lot of torque. It's not wanting to go over top of that screw. So this might be a bit of a problem. Not sure. We should be able to torque that other one down a little bit deeper so that this one wouldn't hit as it comes over top of it. So I'm definitely hitting too much of that screw and I cannot drive it any deeper. I am able to tighten that one up. Quite a few threads there, so maybe that's enough for me to get by. That will have solved the problem. Yep. Okay, so there we go. So there was a slight issue there. Not really any major concern. The manufacturer, when they assembled the motor to the rail, just didn't have that one quite snugged up enough for this screw to slot over top. Now with all of them in place though, I am going to remove the ones on this end just to replace them with the longer screws so it gives it a bit more support. As this gantry is going incredibly fast, we don't want it to be sitting on a shorter stud. I don't think it would cause any problems, but why not use the parts that they call for? Okay, so again now, after that has been assembled, we've done everything correctly there. We're just going to attach the laser module. We attach the laser module and then we attach the remaining cable. So this first half of the cable here is going to hang down and it attaches into right here on the laser module. This one's going to come off straight. And then we're just going to hear it click, maybe. There it is. And the remaining cable, afterwards, I don't know how we're going to make this one. We want to stay out of the way. It needs to come up along here and then we'll eventually plug into the laser module up here. There is some cable ties up here, so we could be able to tie that off. This is my only concern, is that this one doesn't really have anywhere to go, but we shall see. Okay, let's unpack the amazingly cool glasses and see how they feel. Oh yeah, that makes everything quite green. Can't wait to give those a try. In time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Laser module, 10-watt diode laser itself. That is a thing of beauty right there. We have our laser adjuster, very handy. Very nice, easy assembled box. Cable connect on the back. Monster motor fan. This looks like it'll be quite easy. We're just going to slot it. There's a groove slot already here, so we just need to slot it in there and then add in the adjuster screws. Let me take the final piece of our wiring. Definitely going to want to bring this all the way up before you try to slot it in. Get everything to align. You don't want to break any of those pins. Get this far, you don't want to break a pin. I'm actually going to pull the module right out and have a better look, because it is tight in this location. And there we go. She's connected. It's good. And all the way down to there. There we go. I'm going to snip, snip. There are also a few other spots where they are calling for cable ties. You can apparently cable tie this off down here if you'd like, up into a certain point. I only see one cable tie point though. Calls for 3. Oh, there is 3 over here if we really wanted to. I don't think there's a need for the third one, just because of how it connects to that motor. There's supposed to be 2 along the rail. I don't see the second one. It's way back in the corner. Okay, so we do have one. It's just deep, deep into the corner. We're gonna want to lift that up. These will be useful. Turn that one around. Grab another one. Get right into the corner. And get that pulled up. Get this pulled up. I want to keep this wire pulled tightly to over here. think they could have drilled at least one more to keep you tied to here, and it would have been just fine. Although I don't think there'll be a huge issue with trying to keep it kind of off the printable surface. And here is our finished product, guys. Fully assembled, ready to go. So just a quick little scan around of the machine. We have our ports here with our on-off switch, so we'll give it power for the first time here. You can hear the fan spin up, and you can see our laser come on. We have our crosshairs down there for helping us align with our workpiece. And let's just see if we can get it to move around. So I do have it plugged into my computer now, and we are running the free software that comes with it, LaserBox Basic. And through the software, we can just allow for this module to scan the workspace. And there it goes, ready to be used. Just so you can see, this is the Wi-Fi antenna I was talking about earlier. It's kind of just hidden down below here. So I don't actually need this cable plugged in if I didn't want to. We can just connect through Wi-Fi. Although to set this up for the first time, you do need to use the cable just to get it onto your Wi-Fi network. And then after that, you're good to go. But there it is. Hopefully this tutorial has been somewhat useful, and we'll catch you in the next one. Hey guys, a couple quick points before we end the video. I ran into 3 issues while we were building the Xtool D1. They're very minor, but there's things you should be aware of. So the first one was, when you're unpacking the box, make sure you have all your parts before you start. I thought I had everything. I looked at the manual and I had everything the manual had described that we should have in the box. But the one thing that it doesn't show is the thumb screw that actually mounts your laser module to the framework. That's kind of an important piece. Without that one, you can't actually mount the laser to the framework, and you can't use it until you have it. Luckily, I did find it in the bottom of my box, so it must have been somewhere in one of the pieces of the foam that I just didn't notice at the first part, and then it fell out, and luckily I hadn't thrown it away yet. So that's the first thing. Make sure you fully empty your box before you throw anything away. Don't throw it out. Number 2 was, when I was first assembling the gantry, or assembling the steel rod that goes across the bottom to align the 2 rollers for the gantry, make sure that before you actually tighten that down, that you just align the 2 rollers either all the way to the back or all the way to the front. That way you don't have to undo it, realign them, because you're going to notice as soon as you try to put the gantry on, they don't line up, and there's nothing you can do. You have to take it apart and put it back together. Wasn't that big of a hassle. It's only a couple screws. But it saves you 10 minutes of time. So just get it right the first time. And the final thing was, if you're having an issue with a screw that does not want to go in when you're trying to attach the gantry to the actual main frame, just make sure you check that the screw heads on the motor mount for the gantry have actually been driven all the way down. In this case, mine weren't, and so I did spend about 10 minutes trying to figure out if I was using the wrong screw or if something else had gone wrong, if I wasn't following the instructions correctly. Turned out that they just weren't tightened all the way down. They do provide you with the Allen keys needed to tighten up any of the other parts that were done by the factory. So just pull out one of those Allen keys, figure out which one you need, and tighten those down so that you're not trying to force any of the screws in place. Everything here went together very easily. I did not have to use a lot of force on anything. So if you find yourself using too much force, just make sure that something else in the area isn't blocking it or that it's aligned correctly before you strip your threads. Other than that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys.